All right, what's going on, guys? You know, time really flies, man. I feel like it wasn't that long ago. I was a young 24-year-old loading up some Black Ops 1, some OG Nuketown, and now look at us. 15 years later, we're on Black Ops 6. This might be my last Black Ops, you know, I'm getting up there. I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the next one. We'll see. So today was our very first official reveal of Black Ops 6. You guys might have caught the stream. We actually got a lot more information than I was expecting, so I'm just gonna kind of go over a lot of the important stuff, give you some thoughts, a little bit of breakdown of everything we've seen. So we're gonna go over to my guy Charlie Intel. You already know they got all the information organized for everyone. So just a little taste, just to start us off. Developed by Treyarch and Raven, Black Ops 6 is a spy action thriller set in the early 90s, a period of transition and upheaval in global politics, characterized by the end of the Cold War and the rise of the United States as a single superpower. With a mind-bending narrative and unbound by the rules of engagement, this is signature Black Ops. The Black Ops 6 campaign provides dynamic moment-to-moment gameplay that includes a variety of play spaces with blockbuster set pieces and action-packed moments, high-stake heists, and cloak and dagger spy activity. In a best-in-class multiplayer experience, players will test their skills across 16 new maps at launch, including 12 core 6v6 maps and 4 strike maps that can be played 2v2 or 6v6. Black Ops 6 also marks the epic return of round-based zombies, the fan-favorite mode where players will take down hordes of the undead in 2 brand new maps at launch. Post-launch, players can look forward to even more exciting maps and groundbreaking experiences dropping into both multiplayer and zombies. That is the official description from the Xbox store, and there's a couple W's in there already just from that. So the game is going to be set in the early 90s, so fairly modern, you know, not too long ago, and there will be a campaign for people that are interested in that. It says there will be 16 maps at launch. It says they're going to be new maps, so no remasters or remakes included. I do know Nuketown is going to be in the game, so I guess 17 maps. They'll probably add Nuketown after the game drops. They usually do it like that. It says 12 of them are 6v6, but then it also says 4 of them are 2v2 or 6v6, so I guess that means Gunfight is returning as well. But I do want to factor in the fact that 4 of these maps can be used for 2v2. That would lead me to believe that they're going to be pretty small, which is a positive as far as like public matches are concerned. Usually the smaller maps are the better ones, so that is good news just to see that in there as well. And then finally, they confirmed the return of round-based zombies, which I don't play too much zombies, but I know that's what the community prefers, so I'm sure they're very happy about that. We do have a release date for the game, October 25th. That's a little bit early. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm down for as early as possible, but hopefully that means we can catch the beta at the end of August, probably early September though. I know how they operate. And speaking of the beta, we actually have fairly big news about that. Apparently this year the beta is going to come out at the same time on all platforms. That's actually amazing news. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. That's a big W from Microsoft. If you guys remember, Microsoft did like acquire Activision, so I was thinking they might do like some sort of exclusivity, like how like PlayStation, you know, you would get it first. I was thinking maybe Xbox would get it first because they own it, but they're going to make it fair for everyone, so you know, that's pretty good news. Now, as far as gameplay related stuff, we actually did get a pretty solid amount of information. Gunsmith is confirmed. I feel like we already kind of could have assumed that because of Warzone. Gunsmith will not be going anywhere. Kind of big news, the Prestige system is back. They actually kind of broke it down a little bit. It says it's going to be 55 levels per Prestige, 10 Prestiges available, and then after you get 10th Prestige, you unlock Prestige Master, and then you get 1,000 additional levels. And it says all of that will be available at launch, and there's going to be no seasonal level caps like how they do now. So that's pretty big news, actually, at least for the people that like to grind the game out. I just feel like this seasonal level cap and just the level system in general, just going up in level, is just kind of boring, and it's just not as fun as prestiging. I'm more encouraged to grind to 10th Prestige prestige than I am to grind to level 1,000 or whatever. I don't know. Like, I guess technically it's kind of the same thing, but for whatever reason, like it just works better with the prestiges, and I think it gives people more of an incentive to play the game. They released a bit of information on the perk system. So it says in Black Ops 6 there are 3 categories of perks: Enforcer, Recon, and Strategist. Perks are divided into perk 1, 2, and 3. If you equip the same category of perk across all 3, you get a specialty. For example, equip all 3 Enforcer perks and you get speed and health regen increase with each kill. So that kind of sounds like quick fix, but basically you get your standard 3 perks that we're used to, but it looks like if you do it a certain way and equip, you know, the same category or whatever, you're gonna get kind of like a bonus 4th perk. So we'll see how that balances out. I mean, it's nothing too crazy, but you know, with stuff like that, it could create like an OP combination or something. Then we got our loadout information. It says Black Ops 6 multiplayer loadouts will be primary, secondary, dedicated melee, lethal, tactical, field upgrade, 3 perks, plus perk specialty, and then wild cards. And then you spawn in with 5 attachments per weapon, and you can get up to 8 attachments with a wild card. So if I'm understanding this correctly, it seems like you get a pistol and a knife, or whatever like weird melee weapon you choose, because it says dedicated melee. Because right now, like, if you want to have a knife, you have to give up your pistol. It seems like they're saying you'll still get a knife, which if you remember back in the day, that is how it used to work in the older games. So maybe they're going back to that, I'm not sure. Wild cards are also back. If you remember wild cards from Black Ops 2, it's kind of funny how they've evolved, because in Black Ops 2, you would use the primary gunfighter wild card and you would get 3 attachments instead of 2 attachments on your gun. Nowadays, you spawn in with 5 attachments and you use the wild card to get 8 attachments. I mean, I don't really think you need 8 attachments on your gun. I could be wrong. Maybe when the game comes out, that would be necessary, but 8 attachments seems like a little bit too much. I'm sure there's probably a different wild card that you would be better off using, but it's just kind of crazy to see the difference between now and back then. It's pretty much all due to Warzone. I would imagine if Warzone never came out, Call of Duty would look a lot different these days. You know, a lot of the stuff that, you know, kind of goes into multiplayer isn't really made for multiplayer. They just kind of throw it in there, but it's really designed for Warzone. Now the rest of this, I'm just gonna pull up directly on Twitter because there's a lot of like images and videos that we need to watch with it. Alright, so I just pulled up some tabs to look at here. The first one quickly: Black Ops 6 multiplayer will have 12 brand new weapons for the Call of Duty franchise, along with many other options. So the way I'm reading that is like, it says brand new, so like never before seen in any other COD. Is that the way I should read that? I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of cool, a little bit of information, nothing too crazy. We have this. This is the first look at the new minimal HUD for multiplayer. So if I make it a little bigger here, you can see, I mean, it looks like a fairly standard Call of Duty HUD, I guess. A little bit less, you know, there's no, what's that thing in the middle that they be using in Warzone? I don't even use that, but the little thing at the top, the little compass or whatever, that's not on there. I mean, I would personally probably use a square mini map. I mean, it looks like a fairly standard HUD. I mean, nothing too crazy here. I mean, you got your ammo on the bottom, your equipment. It looks like that's his field upgrade. I don't even know what that is, like a med kit or something. I can't even tell what that is. You know, fairly standard. You got the kill streak on the right. Nothing too crazy. I mean, it is whatever. But it's cool. This is how the game will look, I guess. Something similar to this. This looks like it was taken from campaign, to be honest. I don't know. Maybe not. But anyways, that's just a little view. Next, it says first look at the Black Ops 6 multiplayer maps. I mean, it's not really like a look. It's kind of like this is like a loading screen almost type of thing. But, you know, you got this one, which is like, you know, kind of foresty or whatever. Okay, whatever, cool. It looks like you have some sort of like mansion type map, you know, like a pool or whatever. There's probably gonna be some water stuff in this game, I'm sure. And then you looks like you have like a mine or something, like underground or something like that. I mean, okay, cool. You know, it's not much to really take away from these screenshots. You can't really see anything too crazy, but it's cool to just look at it, you know. Next, it says, oh, this is actually fairly important. So Call of Duty Next is going to be August 28th, and that's when we're going to get like the full reveal. Now, I will say, if Call of Duty Next is on the 28th, usually they do the beta right after this. So I don't know what the actual date of Call of Duty Next is, like August 28th. You know what? I'll look it up right now. Let me see. August 28th is That is a Wednesday. August 28th is Wednesday, so I wouldn't be surprised if the beta is literally that same week on Friday, like the 30th, or maybe the week after. You know what I mean? Usually it comes right after that, so I think late August, very early September is when we should be looking forward to the beta. I don't believe the actual date is announced yet. Next, we have a little bit of a view of how the in-game UI is going to look for Black Ops 6. I mean, pretty standard. You know, you have your challenges here, your stuff at the top. It looks very similar to the UI now. I mean, they're not going to really change the UI too much. Nothing crazy. You have your double XP at the bottom, map on the left. You see Nuketown domination right there, so Nuketown will be in the game. You know, you got your lobby, you see the people in the party level. I mean, it looks pretty standard. You know, that's how I'd expect it to look. And then finally, this is probably the most important piece right here. So this is going to be the movement in Black Ops 6, and this is why a lot of people think there's going to be an insane skill gap in this game. So I'm just going to play it a little bit, and we'll talk about it if you haven't seen this clip yet. So basically, you can like dive. I'm going to mute it because you don't need it. There's nothing really to, there's no point in hearing it, but you can like dive in all different directions. You can also run in all different directions. I'm gonna let it play once and then I'm gonna go back and talk about each aspect of the movement, but it looks pretty insane. Like even this guy, I'm gonna talk about, you know, I'll let it play and then I'll come back and talk about it. But there looks like to be like a lot of different like new movement mechanics that we've never had in any Call of Duty. Just from what I can see off this looks like it's gonna be the most advanced movement boots on the ground game that we've ever had. I'm sure this game's gonna have tac sprint as well added onto this. So if you look, so you saw it once. Let me just kind of break it down each movement that they're showing. So in this one, he dives backwards, but he's still shooting his. It looks like to be an AR. I think that's an AR in his hands. So he's shooting his AR, ADSing while diving backwards. Obviously, it's not gonna be very accurate. You can see like it's shaking and stuff. You know what I mean? The accuracy ain't gonna be there, but the fact you can do that is pretty crazy. And then this one, once again. Oh, I thought that was going to be a movement clip. My bad. Oh, this is the one where he goes to the side, right? Okay, so this one he does he has a shotgun, and he just pops them real quick while going to the side. So it definitely looks like you can move while you're doing, you can shoot while you're doing all these different movements. Also, this right here was a little weird. So he's prone on his, well, he's on his back. I guess he's not technically not prone. He's on his back, but it looks like he's ADSing while on his back, and he's aiming around, does it not? So I don't know if that's going to be a like kind of like a feature. You can lay down on your back and like aim. It's kind of interesting. It looks like that's what he's doing. They show a little mantle, the slide. So they show how it happens. So he did like a little hurdle. I'm sure I mean, it doesn't actually look like a mantle because it doesn't look like he grabbed it. He actually just hurdled it. And then he goes into a slide on his, yeah, like on his back, and then I guess he shoots that guy. And then this is the very interesting. So this definitely changes like timings on the map because you can now sprint. I doubt you can tac sprint doing this. This is gonna probably only be regular sprint, but you can regular sprint going backwards, which is pretty big, I would say, because you know what I mean. Like you don't actually have to turn around now. Even to the side is pretty interesting. Backwards is definitely game changing for sure. But this is, I think that's a pretty crazy feature that they've added. Along with these side dives right here, if you can like, you know, it's gonna kind of change the way people I think chow corners and stuff, because if you can just dive across a doorway or a corner and shoot them, I feel like you'd be a very hard target to hit yourself if you do that, you know what I mean? So I feel like this is, instead of like slide canceling a corner now, you might just dive across like how this guy's doing right here, and you know, you can at least at the very least get information, maybe even get a kill. I feel like it's definitely going to kind of change the way that the game is played. So we'll have to see you know, how that works out, obviously, when the game comes out, when the beta comes out, when we see some actual like, you know, multiplayer footage. But I just wanted to just put that in there because I thought this right here, this little clip, this is probably the biggest thing to look at for this entire reveal, because this is a completely different movement system than we have ever seen in Call of Duty. Yeah, so that's pretty much it as far as all the information is concerned. I covered pretty much all the big stuff. There's even more out there if you're really interested. You can go rewatch the stream or go watch the trailer yourself and stuff. I'm sure it's all on YouTube. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all this new stuff actually plays out in game. I mean, I won't really pass too much judgment on it right now because it's hard to say until, you know, we actually at the very least see some like multiplayer gameplay with it. But it definitely looks interesting, I will say that. And I think it could end up being like really good or really bad. You know what I mean? I feel like this might be a pretty, like, not controversial, but maybe polarizing addition to Call of Duty. Like, some people might really love it, some people might hate it. We'll see how it goes down, but y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like rating if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're not already, follow me on Twitter, links in the description down below. Check out my last video if you missed it. Other than that, have a good day and peace out.